Welcome back to Living Local. A pop-punk band out of Muscatine, Iowa is making moves in the Midwest music scene. Eugene Levy's newest music video is premiering right here on Living Local right now. Let's check it out.
I'll take the hit, then I'll stand up. I'll take the hit and get up and... churches, not a dime to my name. A systematic battle of depression was force-fed to me. Despite the odds, we band together to break this cycle. That's how we win. That's how we all win. Bring it back strong with everyone. Justify the means of every line. Doesn't matter in the first place. I drop the line when I hit the stage. My lust and sour perception confirms the ideation of the day is that I'll let it all burn. Take turns, slaying me. I'll take the hit, then I'll stand up. I'll take the hit and get up and leave. The view from the ground taught me that I can take every hit you give me. The view from the ground taught me that I can take every hit you give me. My lust and sour perception confirms the ideation of the day is that I'll let it all burn. Take turns, slaying me. I'll take the hit, then I'll stand up. I'll take the hit and get up and leave. My partner's on.
Wow, well, I don't know about you, but I feel pumped up after listening to that song. We have a couple of the guys from Eugene Levy in studio today, Cameron Smith, Brian Martinez. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So tell us, what is Eugene Levy? How did the band get started?
Well, it got started when like me and some of my friends wanted to just write like happy pop punk because we felt like there was a lot of like negative stuff out there, and we just kind of put some songs together and created this, whatever this is, Eugene Levy.
Fantastic. I love that because I think the genre of pop punk does get a reputation for kind of being whiny, negative, that sort of thing. So I love that you're kind of putting a positive spin on the genre of music. So you two are not the only members of Eugene Levy. So tell us how the band members came together and who the other guys are.
So a lot of what it was is it was me, Nick Himes, started the band, and then we added in Brian Taylor, and then about, I want to say 3 months in, would you say, when we got you?
Probably.
Yeah,
It was not too long after. We only played like maybe 3 shows, and then we met Cameron and asked him to join, and that's kind of how the band members got put together.
Awesome. So we just premiered the single that you guys are, launching today. So thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. What is the single about, musically and lyrically?
Musically, I mean, instrumentally at least, I'm a riffer, right? So I come up with some sort of catchy riff, and I kind of leave it at that, and then as time goes on, something will pop in my head, and then I'll feed off of that, and I'll keep writing to that and keep writing to that. And this one had just a really upbeat, more of a heavier vibe, not so much complex, but it worked out. It worked out really well, and it didn't come out to what this came out to. This all happens in the studio afterwards.
Right.
And then he came up with the hook and the melody, and it really put this thing together.
And the lyrics were kind of like, I've always felt like life has been an uphill battle for me, and like I know a lot of my friends have felt that way, and it's kind of like sometimes it feels like life is just hitting you, and so like that's where the take swings at me comes from. It's like it just feels that way, but in reality, like you can just get back up and keep moving, and that's kind of where the lyrics are formed around.
That's awesome. I think so many folks out there can relate to that, just constantly being knocked down, but this message of get back up after you get knocked down and the fight's not over, you can keep going on. That's super encouraging. What would you say influences your guys' music the most?
Early 2000s bands like Newfound Glory and like Blink-182, Green Day, those are like big ones people know from my part.
Yeah, and I come from a little different background. Started out with some, typical hard rock, that you would hear on like iRock out here or something like that. So I think whenever, you listen to the newer stuff that I was a part of, you hear that influence in the guitars a lot. So we do a great mix of blending some of that, mainstream hard rock and that early 2000s pop punk, which I think kind of separates us from the typical pop punk crowd.
Yeah, I definitely picked up on the blend of that for sure, which is super unique sound. Now, since you guys have come together as Eugene Levy, what have been some of the band's highlighted successes?
I would say the highlight was when we entered a contest to play with a band called Bayside, and we actually won, and it was in Chicago. I can't remember. Do you remember the venue's name?
Yeah, it was at the Bottom Lounge. So this is a 700 cap room, and this was a sold out event. Bayside's been a big name for a long time. We've been following and listening to this band for a long time, and when this contest came about, it was strictly votes. It was all votes, and I think it just goes to show. And this was against all Chicago bands as well. So it's like small town Muscatine, Iowa band ended up beating out everybody in this giant city. And I just think that goes to show, how supportive everybody is towards us. So
and that's what makes it, I think, so successful. Is like it wasn't just our music alone. It was all of our friends and the family, because we call them the family because I don't like the word fans. So, so they're Eugene Levy family. But because of them, we were able to do that, and we owe everything to them for that.
Wow. I think that says a lot about your professionalism and your talent to be able to go Chicago and take the win there, and then how encouraging that you have this family of fans behind to support you in your success. Now, guys, what's in store for the rest of this year and next year?
Obviously no shows. So we're strictly focusing on finishing our upcoming EP. There's going to be 6 songs on it, and this is one of them off of that EP. So we're in the studio constantly writing, and until all this stuff kind of goes on the back burner and we can get back to normal life, we're just going to continue writing and putting out content. So
and have as much fun as possible while doing it.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. What's the ultimate dream for Eugene Levy, would you say?
Tour the world. Tour the world with all of our friends, and just kind of make this a career, do what we love, and this is what we love to do. So I think it shows in our video, I think it shows in our songs, and we work really hard. We spend a lot of money, and just a lot of footwork, a lot of groundwork, but I think it's all worth it. We love it.
I just hope to outreach to as many people as possible, make as many friends as possible, and hopefully help people feel like they're not alone in this world, because I know I did when I was younger, and just trying to help push that positivity out there.
And isn't music just such a powerful tool, though, and an outlet for people? I know that it is for me.
Man, it's big. Yeah, it's big time.
I don't know what I would do if we weren't creating these songs and getting out some of these frustrations or things that are negative, and just putting it out there, and it's something positive.
Absolutely. Well, Brian, Cameron, thank you guys so much for being here and premiering your single here on Living Local. We so appreciate it.
Thank you so much for letting us do it. It's been great.
Absolutely. Well, if you guys would like some more information, you can visit eugenelevy.com. We'll also have those details posted on ourquadcities.com.